Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the GW Panther, GW Panther. It's a tier 7 German SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Ghost Town and it's under the command of Mike1963_1. Well, this Arty has a 15cm howitzer capable of 600 alpha penetrating 39mm of armour. Game on! Okay, it's also one of the few Artys in the game that actually has a turret that can turn either side, and that gives it 52 degrees overall and 26 degrees either side of the centre line. And many players have actually called the GW Panther Dracula. In fact, we even have a skin which actually shows the Dracula marking. Well, an enemy tank has made a quick run up this end of the map. It's an EBR-75 FL10. He's done his spotting and he's on his way back. It'd be a mistake if he turned around and came back the same way. In fact, he's already starting to lose hit points. You need a fairly long lead on a tank like that, because otherwise you might miss him. Oh, Mike hits him! 203, that was a good shot considering he was firing from a long way away and the guy was retreating at speed. So not a bad shot that. Not a penetrating shot, but it certainly did stun him, it wounded him, it probably made him think twice about doing that again. Rounds out, lands on the rubble in front of the hill there. So the IS, I think it was an IS-6, I think it was, escaped damage. Just looking to see which one it was. It was an IS-5 actually. Okay, we've got a Type 59. Okay, the standard reload for this Arty is 25.89 seconds. And Mike's got it down to 21.45. He's... oh, just fired around C43. And he gets a hit. Picks up another 140 hit points. Mike's not using a first aid kit in this configuration. He's got the premium consumables. But instead of actually using a first aid kit, he's actually opted to have oil, which will actually speed up the vehicle. The GW Panther doesn't have the turbocharger, which the standard Panther actually has. And that means it's rather slow. And I don't know why Wargaming thought that, oh well, we must put a no turbocharger on, so it's a really slow Arty. But that's what they did, and so therefore it's only got half the speed or half the horsepower of a standard Panther. Now, in my reckoning, they wouldn't have done that. They would have put the turbocharger in, mainly because they wouldn't have made any changes to the hulls before they sent them off to be converted into Arty. They just would have produced the hulls on the production line without the turret, and then it would have been sent off for further work. In fact, it's more than likely that they wouldn't have even put the top of the tank on, because of course they needed to put the a new top on to put the turret at the rear for the howitzer. It was a different configuration than normal. Now normally this is quite a difficult map to play, mainly because there's so many obstacles in the way of the shells. Fires around in there to splash the P43 TOR, who was hiding just around the corner. If he was still there, he probably felt that one. And that Type 59's about to die. And he hasn't gone yet. He actually just killed an ELC Evan 90. But up here on the hill we got a T20. Rounds out. Lands near him. There's a little bit of RNG in there. Plus, of course, he did actually fire before he was fully dialed in. Oh, now this is good because we've got two tanks together at the same time. And when that happens, normally both tanks get injured. In fact, the IS-5 is side-scraping on the corner. Rounds out. Good hit. Now, he did hit both tanks at the same time. He stunned them both, but only the IS-5 actually took some damage. Okay, P43 turns come back, and he is missing some hit points already, but I think that wasn't down to Mike. I think that was somebody else, but he's just lost a huge amount of hit points, and now he's out the game. That was perfectly timed. Now, he did wait until he was loaded before he fired, but the fact is that it worked out in Mike's favour to aim for the P43, because of course he has thinner armour, plus of course it's taken a 90mm armed tank out of the game. Right, up on the west side we've got an AMX 1375 joined to the T43, who's very low on health. So yes, he's probably going to die if he gets hit. Now, Mike's trying to work out where he's going next. Is he moving forward? I'd find out. Well, it was close. I think he was trying to time it for the moment the enemy moves forward. And that's always something, if you're an Arty player, you should be doing. You should be working out where he pops up to take a shot and where he pulls back down to. So the moment he actually pops up to take a shot, that's when you fire and the shell goes in. And it stuns the enemy just when they're about to fire, and then they lose their shot, but they also take damage at the same time. Well, that certainly upset the T20, and he's stunned now, but he's just the other side of that little hill, that little ridgeline there. Oh, enemy Arty's also having a go, and that's an M12. Okay, the enemy T43's gone. Now it's just this T20. Rounds out, looks good. Oh, he tracked him. He tracked him, and that leaves, or would have let our teammates have a go, but they decided not to. And in fact, the enemy Arty just killed our T-34-100. So, now can we get the kill on this T20? It won't be a kill, actually. It'll probably be a damage. But 181, good hit, solid hit. That AMX 1375 doesn't have much armour, so he would make a perfect shot, because you're either going to get a pen or you're going to severely damage him in the process. Okay, he's lining up a hit. Rounds out, looks good. Oh, went long. Long and to the left. Wasn't very long, but the 1375 managed to dodge the shot. Now, will the T20 stay there? Is he going to move up? We're almost loaded. Rounds out. Oh, he stayed for that one. 141, he's stunned. We've only got the Leo up there at the moment. The T43's pulled back, so our Leo's just trying to avoid being hit by the enemy M12. And unfortunately, he didn't avoid long enough, and the M12 got him. So, we're going to return the favour. Well, the T20 dodged another shot, 22. He's obviously watching for those shells coming out and then jumping out of the way quickly to try and avoid being hit. So the enemy's moving up on the west side, but they found the T43. Now, he's hiding behind the wreck, so he's going to stay there. Just let it dial in on that spot. He's going to stay. Rounds out. This looks good. Well, he would have taken a huge amount of damage from that shot because he was right next door to where he was sitting. And if he was trying to hide behind the wreck, he had to take the damage. That's the thing. Sometimes there's a reason for not sitting behind a wreck, because you are making yourself a stationary target for Arty. Get ready, he's going to move up. He does. Yep, you can sometimes tell when they do a reverse like that that they are actually getting ready to move forward. They're just turning the vehicle round. Rounds up, T20. Another splash. Well, he is getting the hit points, but we're still one down on the enemy. And we're lower than them on hit points as well. So things aren't going so great. T25-2, he can pen that guy. Line it up. That's it. Looks good. Yes! Direct hit for 257. He takes some damage immediately afterwards, and there he's out the game. So nice bit of damage assist there as well. Over on the west side, unfortunately, the enemy is getting rather close now, and might need to think about getting out of there. Now that ISU 152 is going to hold that AMX 1375 at bay for a little while. In fact, he did. He killed him. And now actually there's an enemy, couple of enemy tanks, including a GW Panther, coming up the east side of the map, and the Super Hellcat as well. So maybe Yep. Oh, he got the kill! He got a blind kill on the GW Panther. That doesn't stop the Super Hellcat from moving up though. He is coming up the east side of the map towards Mike. So Mike might need to move again. Ideally he wants to go back up on the hill, I'd say, now. And now it's all turned around because now there's only 3 enemies left. The Super Hellcat on the east side, the E25 on the west side with the M12, who's now been spotted. And, oh, before we can get a shot off, he's taken out the game. Now there's only 2 left. We outnumber them more than 2 to 1. And we've been spotted. The Super Hellcat out, took a round. That was a 90mm round. He fires one back. Oh, he got a pen. At least I think that was a pen. Might not have been, actually. It was just a heavy hit on very light armor. But we have been badly damaged. Engine's gone. Track's gone. I don't think we need to move, though. The enemy Arty's gone, which means that he doesn't have to reposition to avoid the enemy Arty. All he needs to do... And in fact, actually, it looks like to me that the E25 is on the heights above the cap area. Yep, and the reason I say that is that although the E25 was seen in that vicinity, one of our tanks died on that corner of the map, and I suspect that the E25 is actually hiding up on top of the rock at A4, sitting there watching whoever's coming towards the cap area. So now would be a good time to start laying shells down on that corner. He's looking in the wrong place at the moment. I think he's misidentified where it came from. He's asking, or the Alpine Tiger is asking where it came from. And in fact, actually, the Alpine Tiger has now said it came from A4. So yes, he's now said it's up on top of the cliff. Okay, keep an eye on that damage figure as well. They've only got 384 hit points left. That's all the E25's got. But if we start losing hit points, we'll see that number drop from 1,585. And that means somebody fired a round which hit one of our guys. Okay, put a round up here. Center your arc. So you want to get the center line going, looking directly down that spot. And I would lay a shell down just slightly to the left, actually, because I think he's going to want a better angle to hit the Alpine. Okay, centering the arc now. You see that little green line running down the middle of the mini-map? That's the center of the arc. And you want to get it so that if you look either way, you get the minimal amount of reticule bloom every time you move the aim. Well, he fired one up into the corner. Only 7 rounds left, and they're all the premium HE, the ones without stun. Now that does do more damage, but the problem is that it also has no stun, which means it's difficult to actually incapacitate your enemy when you need to slow them down a little, let your teammates get at them. I do appreciate what he's doing here. He's moving up because you, when you're an Arty and you're in the end game, you do need to move up, get close to the enemy, so it's easier to get direct hits on them. And I think I can appreciate now why he fired into the corner, because the damage is still the same, 1,585, which means none of our teammates have actually been hit. Oh, now one of them's been hit. In fact, 2 of them have been hit, and the Alpine Tiger's gone. So it does look as if the enemy tank is in the northwest corner of the map. So the E25's over there, and there he is, he's been spotted. Now, just need to turn the corner, and now we can center the arc. Okay, he's lining him up, he's going for a quick shot, but of course he's going to get reticule bloom. He's close to the edge, but oh, he gets the kill! He wins the game with a blind kill right at the end. Well done. Well, that was a pretty spectacular end to that game, because Mike fired a round in which took out the enemy E25. He wasn't fully dialed in, but he was risking taking a risk, a calculated risk, that he might be able to get a shell onto that E25, wound him, at least do some damage to him, and he did. He got a lovely hit which actually took him out of the game, finished it off for the team. Let's have a look and see. Well, he got an ace tanker out of that game. He also picked up a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 15, and he got a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. Win 8 was 4,491, which is Super Unicum standard. Very nice indeed. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. That actually went to the Alpine Tiger, but he didn't get a high caliber because he didn't get 20% of the enemy hit pool. He only got 3,075 hit points of damage, but the second highest score on damage was Mike, and he got 2,598, followed by the Scorpion on the enemy team with 1,949. When it came to kills, it was shared between the Alpine Tiger and Mike. Both got 3 kills apiece. 2 kills went to the IKV-90B, the Leo, the T26E5 Patriot, the E25 on the enemy team, the M12 and the Type 59. So a lot of players with 2 kills apiece. A lot of good players with 2 kills apiece. But Mike and the Alpine Tiger managed to beat them. And when it came to base XP, he's in second place because the Alpine Tiger managed 1,152. 1,034 went to Mike. And the next highest player only got 780, so these were the only 2 players who managed to get over 1,000, and Mike was one of them with his ace tanker. He fired 24 rounds in that game. He managed to get 9 direct hits on the enemy, no penetrations though. He only had 6 rounds left at the end of the game, but he made them work. 25 splash as well. Damage of 2,598 hit points, of which 2,240 were at more than 300 meters. The close shot was, of course, that Super Hellcat, who was very close, and of course he did get hit, but luckily he didn't get killed. 1 hit received was the pen. Yes, that was that 90mm gun. 11 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 were killed, so there was only 4 enemy vehicles he didn't touch in the entire battle. 117 hit points of damage assistance and 227 hit points of stun assist of 21 stuns. He earned 40,653 credits from the game, and after repair and ammunition resupply took away 10,652 credits profit. 1,551 XP times 2 for the first victory took away 3,102 experience points altogether. Let's have a quick look at the armor again. I'm doing this just to keep reminding people what the armor profile of these vehicles are. This is basically a Panther tank without the turbocharger, which it should have, but it does have less armor than a standard Panther. You can see it's only 50mm at the front, angled armor, slightly raked, so of course it's got about 73mm because of the angling. Lower plate 30mm, but it angles up to about 76, so it's not bad on the lower plate and not bad on the upper plate, but it's not the same as a proper Panther. The upper deck of the Arty is 16mm, and the sides you can see, well, they're only 30mm here, so you'll easily, anyone should be able to penetrate through the sides of this vehicle. The gun shield's the weakest, 16mm you can see here, slightly more at the front of the gun shield, 30mm, but anyone can hit this gun shield at the back, so it's very easy to pen through that. And at the rear of the vehicle, it's only 20mm thick, so again, there's really no protection against shells being fired at it. That's why that 90mm went straight through, no problem at all. We look at the modules, we can see again the engine is up front, so's the driver, right at the front of the vehicle. He's got the transmission in front of him, he's got the engine behind him, and he's got a huge fuel tank to one side. So yes, he doesn't really want to get hit on the front of the vehicle because more than likely it's going to start a fire which is going to fry him. The radio set's just behind the fuel tank. We've got the ammo racks in the shoulders of the tank at the back. So that's the place for aim for because it's only 30mm thick armor here. So you can easily punch through. So aim for the hull, but at the top right hand side or top left hand side of the vehicle, right at the back. That's where the ammo rack is. We've got the gunner on this side. We've got the TC is on the other side. And both loaders are at the rear behind the guns, so very easy to take one of these out. You just aim for the gun shield up top here. That's the easiest thing to pen, and any round hitting that more than likely will take it out. Even an HE round will overwhelm it, and of course being open at the rear, if you fire one in through the rear, an HE round, it'll more than likely kill all the crew except for the driver. So there you are, that's where all the modules are on the GW Panther. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And please do let other players know that we're sending all of the revenue from this channel to help the Red Cross Ukraine appeal. So the more of our videos you watch, the more help you're sending to help those refugees coming out of the war and to look after them. Thanks for watching.